Hello and welcome to FPL Onside. No flags, just points. I hope everyone is doing well. Wanted to jump in today and do my second pod on the FIFA Club World Cup 2025. I wanted to show you my final squad. It has changed since my last pod. It had to. I had one or two injury players and a few other thoughts, to be fair. So we'll come into my final squad. But today I want to give you a few differentials as well. So what I've done today is I've shown you who I think is going to progress from the groups. And then I've picked 3 players from each team that I think will progress. 2 stars, people you're probably very aware of, and then differentials that are maybe under kind of 5% ownership potentially, or definitely people that you may not be thinking about and you want an easy way into a team. You've probably heard of them. Don't get me wrong. You know, they're very well known teams that I think are going to progress, but they're the players who probably aren't in your straight away your thoughts. So without further ado, let's jump in. My league code is in the bottom for the for audio. It is CVD. NK0X0. No, it's not. It's 0x6. My apologies. Looks like a 0. It's not. It's a 6. But I will link it in the description anyway, and then you can join my league. And we've got a lot of people in the league, so really appreciate everybody who has joined me so far in that league. Perfect. Okay. So first of all, what I've done here is I've listed the groups out and I've put in this left on the right-hand side there who's predicted to qualify, and we'll go through it now. So Group A, I've gone for Porto and Inter Miami. I think Al Hilal and Palmeiras don't really have a chance, unfortunately. I think Messi and Suarez are going to be a little bit too strong for those teams attacking wise, and I think Porto will win the group potentially. They're not a bad side, as we know. So for me, Porto and Inter Miami are taking Group A. Which way round? We'll see, but I think it'll be Porto. Group B is PSG and Atletico. Again, you know, Botafogo and Seattle, they haven't really got a chance against those two giants. I do think PSG will top the group. They won the Champions League. They've been absolutely electric, in fairness. Atletico, they've got some great players, but they blow hot and cold for me, I think, Atletico. But I think PSG will top the group, but, you know, could swap around. Group C, I've gone for Bayern and Benfica. I don't think that's any surprise. Boca Juniors are good, but I don't know that much about them. Personally, I still think Benfica will beat them. Bayern's not a question. Bayern are top in that group. You know, Auckland City are statistically the worst team in the whole competition, as I've alluded to before. So for me, yeah, it's going to be a Bayern, Benfica 1-2. Group D, I've gone Chelsea and Flamenco. I think S. Tunis are really low down in the statistics as well. Not a great team. And Lyon, obviously, that's not the one from France that we all know. They've just got no chance against Chelsea and Flamenco. Flamenco are a strong outfit. I do expect them to go quite far. But Chelsea, I think, will top that group. But you never know. I don't know why. I've just got a feeling Chelsea are going to have a really strong competition. I think I mentioned that in a comment to somebody recently, actually. Group E, I have gone for Inter Milan and River Plate. Yeah, Monterrey and Urawa Reds don't really stand a chance against Inter Milan or River Plate. Again, a very, very strong team. Inter are one of those where they have got a lot of stars. They have got 1 or 2 injuries, actually, and that's kind of why I've had to change my team a bit. But for me, I do think Inter will top that group nice and easy. And when you look at this, guys, I know I've picked players for you, but you do have to think, well, actually, even if they get through to the group stage and they may struggle, is it worth punting on or going for somebody from Inter Milan? Is it worth going for Lautaro Martinez, who I have put in there, for instance? And I'm going to spoiler alert. They're going to score a lot of goals in the group stages, but I think there's going to be a lot of rotation for teams as well. So we do have to be aware of that. Group F is Dortmund to win and Fluminense to come second for me. I can't see Uswan or the other two doing anything in that group at all. Fluminense are not even that strong, I don't think, but they are the second best team easily in that group. Dortmund will top that one, and I think they'll have a very nice group stage. For me, they're going to score a lot of goals. Group G, we have got Man City winning and Juventus second. Again, Juventus are one of those form teams up and down a little bit for me. they never really have a strong first 11 in regards. They rotate a lot, I think. So for me, it was very hard to kind of pick one or two Juventus players in the midfield attacking. So I kind of stuck away from that for my own team. I think I've got the defender that everybody's got. So that is what, that's the player that everyone seems to be going for. But I think you definitely need a defensive player from there, and you bench him potentially against Man City. I think Man City are going to have a pretty good group stage. And then Group H to finish off, Real Madrid winning that very easily. And then obviously I think second will be Salzburg, good Austrian team, Salzburg, nice all-round team, but they'll be, I think, too much for Al Hilal and Pachuca. So for me, yeah, Real Madrid are winning that. Very simple. I don't imagine much will change in that. I'd like to come back and see if I've got that right at some point. So I think I will do that. But I don't think anybody really would be looking at different there. Okay. Let's jump in straight into the differentials and stars of the team. A couple of slides now as we go through the two teams that I think will qualify from each group. Stars, differentials. Hopefully you find it helpful. I've gone through and got their sort of last season statistics as well and things like that to help you kind of formulate what would be a good team. And I think I've picked enough positions as star players and differentials to create a team after this. So if you're thinking of playing, maybe just chuck a team in based off of this, and I think it'll help. Maybe you could put one or two differentials in. I certainly have. I think a differential would be anything under 10% ownership. I think I've got about 7 players at the moment that's under 10% ownership as of making this. So I'm quite happy with that, to be fair. And then you've got some stars. So obviously, Group A, we've got Porto and Inter Miami. So the Porto stars, you're looking at Mora, potentially 4.1 million defender. 3 goals but 9 assists last season, and he can play in midfield as well. So he's down as a defender but can play in midfield. So definitely worth looking at, in all fairness. He is down as a defender. And then forward, you've got Agahawa, 4.2 million, 19 goals in 23 starts. Yeah, he's definitely somebody that I've seen in a few people's teams, definitely. As I said, Porto and Inter Miami have got a pretty easy group. So actually, if you want a cheap way into that, into a third striker, Agahawa is a really good one. 19 in 23. Very, very good. The differential for me of Porto is Fabio Vieira. You probably remember him from Arsenal days. He's 5.7 million, so he's a little more pricey than the other two. He's got 4 goals and 4 assists last season, but he's definitely a stalwart in that midfield. Definitely worth it with the group they've got. Then we've got Inter Miami. Well, who are the 2 stars of Inter Miami? It's pretty obvious, isn't it? It's Messi and Suarez. You know, Messi, I said it's Messi. 10 goals, 5 assists, and 12 starts last year. And Suarez has 8 million. So Messi's 10.5. So he's actually 0.5 cheaper than a lot of the premium strikers. And Suarez is 8 million. He had 5 goals and 7 assists and 13 starts. So I think both of them will obviously play up top, and I think Inter Miami could have a good, strong attacking return from those two in the group. For the differential, I've gone for Telasco Segovia. Now, he is down as a midfielder. He's 4.8 million. He got 4 goals and 3 assists in 9 starts last season. And I think he was sort of coming into the team a little bit more at the end. So not a bad little way into Miami if you didn't want to spend the 10.5 or the 8 million, but you really like the look of their group. You know, they could get something against Porto, and I definitely know they'll get something against the other two. So actually, if you want an Inter Miami player for the group stages, I don't think any of those are too bad. I just don't expect them to progress too much further after the group stage. Group B, so we've got PSG and Atletico. The stars of PSG, there's a lot of them. I've gone for Dembele, 10 million. He's actually down. I put that forward, but actually he's down as a midfielder. So that's a mistake by me. But he does play up front, and that's my confusion. He plays a lot up front more than he does play in midfield, but he's down as a midfielder. So if you're looking potentially to maximize the forward players, you could have him in. You might get 4 forwards. He's 10 million, 21 goals, 6 assists in 20 starts last year. Obviously, won the Champions League. Fantastic player. Yeah, you can't go wrong with Dembele. Just very hard to fit him in as a 10 million player into that midfield because there are some really good premiums. Defensive-wise, I've gone for Hakimi, 6.5 million. Most expensive defender in the game. there's a reason for that in reality. It's because he's brilliant. 4 goals, 6 assists as a defender last season. With the group they've got as well, apart from Atletico, you could definitely see some attacking returns coming from him again. Loves to get forward. He's a great player, actually. And the PSG differential, again, a team packed with stars, and it would have been easy. I could have gone for Bradley Barcola. The reason I didn't is because he's kind of got a transfer thing hanging over his head a little bit. So we'll see what happens with him. Vitinha in the midfield as well. They've got too many stars. One I think is going to do quite well, and I think a lot of teams will rotate. And I think for me, one player that seems to do pretty well every time he plays for PSG is Lee Kang-in. And he's 6 million. He did 6 goals and 6 assists last season in 19 starts, but he does come on a lot. So I think with that in mind, given the fact that they had the league, they had the Champions League, and they've gone quite far, because they've got an easy-ish group, they'll rotate a bit. And I think Lee Kang-in could establish himself and become something quite good in that team this season. And then we're over to Atletico, another team packed with stars, really. But the two front men, Alvarez and Griezmann, stand out hugely to a lot of people. So Alvarez last year, in fact, all 3 people I've done from Atletico are forwards. So Alvarez is 9 million. He scored 17 goals and 4 assists, and he's played the second most games last season. Griezmann is 8.5 million, so he's 0.5 cheaper. He got 8 goals and 7 assists. He plays a little bit more to the left sometimes, actually. But he played the third most games. So you're getting kind of 2 players there who start a lot of games. Not so expensive compared to the premiums of 11 million, Messi at 10.5, but they score a lot. And with that group, you definitely could see them putting some stuff away. The differential is also a forward, and that's Alexander Sorloth. He's 7.5 million, and he scored 20 goals and 2 assists in 15 starts last season. But he made also 20 sub appearances, so he always comes on. He actually scored 4 goals in 1 game last year and set the fastest La Liga hat trick as well against, testing myself, Real Sociedad, I want to say. But yeah, very, very good differential there if you want to easy way. And as I said, he started 15, he came on for another 20. So actually, he's going to get time. And I can understand if Atletico will potentially rotate a lot within the group. So I think he's not bad at all. Group C, we've got Bayern and Benfica. So again, Bayern packed with stars. No surprise, it's Harry Kane up top. 11 million, 26 goals, 9 assists, the second most games for the club. Absolute nailed on. They don't really have another decent striker to play in his place. Obviously, Mateus Tell was there. He's gone to Spurs. So they haven't really got a real backup striker that plays very regularly. So Kane is in. I think he could be one to completely win the kind of top scorer award in the competition. Midfield, I don't think I've seen anybody without this player, and it's Elise, obviously of Crystal Palace fame. 12 goals, 15 assists, and it's in an insane season for Elise, actually. Did I say 9.4 million? He's 9.4 million. He should be in everyone's team with that group they've got. Just insane. The differential for me, I've gone for Serge Gnabry of Arsenal. Ex-Arsenal, obviously. For me, on the left-hand side, they've obviously got Sane. I was trying to think off the top of my head. Sane, who has now looks like he's going to Galatasaray. That seems to have been confirmed. So for me, he's still apparently going to be with Bayern for the Club World Cup. But given the fact he's moving to Galatasaray, which I think is an odd move for Sane, by the way. I think he's still got more and he could have come Europe. But for me, I'd say Prem or something like that. For me, I think Gnabry is a good left-hand side option when Sane's not there. So I think Gnabry will come to the forefront more. He's had a few injury problems, but last year he's 8 million, by the way, and he scored 7 goals and 5 assists in 13 starts. And as I said, with Sane going, I think he could play more, and this may be where they try and push him into the tournament. A bit of a run-in, as you can imagine, with Sane leaving. Benfica. I don't know loads about Benfica. I'm not going to lie. I kind of know the standout players. So for me, they were a bit more difficult to do. But the standouts obviously are the forward, Pavlidis, 7.8 million, 19 goals, 7 assists, and 27 starts. Really, really good, very consistent. And then midfield is Aktakoglu as well, 7.2 million, 11 goals, 9 assists, and 25 starts. Two really solid players there, and they play a lot of games. They score a lot, assist a lot. You know, I think I've seen Aktakoglu in a lot of people's teams. He nearly made mine, to be fair, but I just don't think Benfica will go that far after. And I kind of want to maximize after the group stage. Do I have to make that many changes into the knockouts? So for me, I'm trying to be a little bit more sensible with the picks I've made. The Benfica differential is somebody you will recognise from Man City days, and that's Nicolas Otamendi. He's 5.2 million, but actually he's nailed to play. He's the most Benfica biggest start player, apart from their goalkeeper. 5.2 million, 6 goals and 2 assists. So actually, I guess from set pieces, he's popping up with the goals here and there for a centre-back. So he is getting on. I think he's about 36 now, but there's no way he shouldn't be playing as a central defender. They have got a decent group, apart from Bayern, who I think will score, obviously, against them. The other two, I think they would struggle. So Otamendi might be very locked for clean sheets, but he might pop up with the odd set-piece goal here and there as well from, a header and stuff like that. So Otamendi, for me, is not a bad shout, into a cheap way into a defence. Group D, we've got Chelsea and Flamenco. So the Chelsea stars, obvious. We've got Parma there. Obviously, Chelsea have got a few stars. But Parma there, 9.6 million, 15 goals, 8 assists. He plays better with Jackson in my eyes, and that's the other pick I've gone for. So Nicholas Jackson, 7.4 million. That's a cheap way into Chelsea, to be completely honest with you. 10 goals, 5 assists. Obviously, he did have a big, long injury break within the season, so that would have been a lot more, I think. And as I've said, he should haul in the group stages. I do think he will. My Chelsea differential is Pedro Neto. So they're kind of missing, I guess, somebody on the kind of left-hand side who's really nailing that. They've obviously got Sancho. They had Sancho. For me, I don't know. I think this is the tournament when Neto comes forward. He had a bit of injury trouble last season, but he started to play a little more near the end. He's 6.5 million. He got 4 goals and 6 assists last season, but I just feel this is a tournament for him where he goes onto the left-hand side and he does really, really well. I've got a big feeling Neto could have a big tournament. He's been well rested, really. I think, for me, Neto is a good differential. Flamenco, yeah, their standouts are pretty easy. Pedro, 6.8 million, 11 goals, 5 assists in 19 starts. And then Gerson in midfield is 6 million, 3 goals and 6 assists. He is a nailed starter. I think third most played player in their team. Their differential is, for me, Di Arrascaeta, who's actually, I believe, in my team. He's 6.2 million, 5 goals, 5 assists in 15 appearances, but 10 as a starter, and he scored in his last 5 games. Really breaking into that team, doing really, really well. So I can't see why he can't have a really good tournament. I think I've seen him in quite a few people's teams as well. But I think you either have him or you have Aktakoglu. I think it's one or the other. Okay, so halfway through. Group E is Inter Milan and River Plate. So the Inter Milan stars, team packed with them. You name it, they've got a lot of stars. But I've gone for a keeper this time. So I've actually gone for Sommer because, number one, he's nailed. He plays most games for Inter. He's their keeper. He's a great shot stopper. They've got an easy group. I do think River Plate are good, but I think that they might struggle against Inter Milan. Inter Milan are very strong in the final of the Champions League, obviously. Lost very heavily, but still, they got there. Really good Serie A season as well. So Sommer, I think if you want clean sheets, he's not the most expensive keeper. Really good shout to have Sommer. Forward-wise, we've got Lautaro Martinez. The Argentinian is always on fire, 9.8 million. That's quite cheap for him. Given their group, I think he's going to do very well. As I said, should score a lot in the group stages. He's nailed 12 goals, 3 assists last season. Does rotate a little bit with Thuram. That's the only thing I'd say. But there's no reason they can't play both of them up top as well sometimes. So we'll see. The midfield differential I've gone for is a midfielder, and it's Fratesi. The reason I've gone for Fratesi is obviously they got Barello, Chanaloglu's injured, and that's part of the reason why my team's changed a bit. He's going to miss 1 or 2 games, and so you wouldn't want to go for him. But I think in the natural thing of that, if you look at their team and who's played in the midfield, Fratesi usually comes on. As I said, here he's 6 million. He's got 5 goals and 1 assist in 9 starts, so that's pretty good. But he actually played 28 matches, so he's coming on a lot. But with Hakan out, I think he's a natural one to come in and play next to Barella. So for me, Fratesi at 6 million, Inter Milan midfielder, really good, solid pick if you want somebody in. And then, when Chanaloglu comes back, he might not go straight in. How long is his injury going to take realistically? Do they want it to reoccur? Do they really want to play him in the Club World Cup and have it? But there's also rumours that he will actually be also going to Galatasaray. Galatasaray, by the way, seem to be signing everybody. I think they've got Gundogan, Sané, Osimhen is potential as well. And now Chanaloglu. What a fucking team they're building. Old, but still a great team. So for me, will he play that much even when he comes back from injury? I don't know. With Fratesi being young in there and hungry, I think Fratesi's a great shout. River Plate. So Borgia is their standout. Their forward Borgia, 11 goals, 1 assist in 12 starts. He played 22 games in total. So, scoring one every other game. Really, really good. And another goalkeeper here. I think that's the only goalkeepers we've got. But Armane, older goalkeeper, mentioned him before, plays every game, 4 million. I think everybody has him as their kind of cheap keeper because he's nailed. And they've got a decent group as well. So expect some clean sheets from him. The differential, I mentioned him last time, is Mastantuono. 1 goal and 3 assists in 7 starts, but he did end up playing 24 games for them. So he comes on a lot. He's got Real Madrid interest. It does look like he's staying with River Plate for the duration of the Club World Cup before he goes to Madrid. So I think as a differential, he's a good shout at 4.3 million. I think he'll play more games in this Club World Cup given the interest around him. Obviously, they don't want him to get injured, though. That would be a terrible thing to get injured before he gets a big money move or big money for River Plate. So you've got to be careful with that one. But he is cheap enough not to worry too much. Group F, we've got Dortmund and Fluminense. So Dortmund stars, Guirassy up front, 9 million. So again, he's 2 million less than kind of the big premiums, but Dortmund have got a pretty simple group. I expect a lot of goals from Dortmund, and as I've put, he scored 21 goals and 4 assists last season, and I expect goals in this group from them, and he's going to be the man to get them, I think. So at 9 million, he's a really nice shout. I've seen him in a lot of teams. Midfielder, I've gone for Gittins. He's 7 million, 8 goals, 3 assists in 21 starts. He's young, but there is a transfer story around him as well. That's with Chelsea. So again, these transfer rumored players, what do you do with them? Are they going to play? Is it hanging over them? When that starts to happen in the Prem, for instance, there's transfer rumors. They kind of don't play. You expect them to, but actually, they are going to be leaving, so they're left out of the squad. So we'll see what happens with Gittins. But again, great midfielder, really good season for him. With that group, could be class for them. They've got a lot of decent players, Dortmund, actually, for this group. I was looking at Julian Brandt before. I think he's in my team. And that's kind of why I haven't put him in here. Adeyemi's another one that could stand out and do really well. He's had some injury troubles. They've got some great players. Musiala was the one for Bayern I was going to mention earlier as well. He had some injury troubles, but again, great player. He's not that expensive. I think he's 9.4. He might be 1 more point than Elise. But my Dortmund differential, somebody you might recognise from Brighton, Pascal Gross, 5.7 million. So a really cheap way into Dortmund's midfield and that group. 9 assists in 28 starts, but he does play every game and he's cheap. So given the fact that he got 9 assists, that's not many in 28 starts, I guess, but it's still pretty good. But given the group and him getting a start every game, you'd like to think that he'd get a couple of them in the group stage. So, Pascal Gross was my differential. Fluminense struggled a little bit with Fluminense. I'll be fair, I'm not too much up on them. But Arias, their midfielder, seems to be kind of the main guy. He plays actually up front. So you've got a midfielder there that actually plays up top. So again, if you're looking at like that Dembele type thing, he's 6.2 million, 7 goals, 3 assists. Yeah, plays as a forward, down as the midfielder. So you could maybe get five players actually who play up front. Midfielder, the other one is Ganso. He's 3 goals, 7 assists. He's 4.2 million. He plays pretty much every game. He's so cheap. So if you want a quick way into that group with a Fluminense player, Ganso is a really nice differential. I mean, he is a differential, to be fair, rather than a star. He is a star as well, but he's differential. The other one I've gone for, the actual differential, is another midfielder, and that's Lima. He's slightly more than Ganso at 4.6. He's got 4 goals, 1 assist, but he can also play as forward too. They have a lot of people who play as midfielders and forwards, but Arias is their main forward. So you can't really go wrong with any of those cheap Fluminense people if you need a little bit of fodder and you're happy to bench them every now and then. Okay, 2 more. So Man City and Juventus, Group G. Man City stars, obviously. Haaland, 11 million, 22 goals, 3 assists. Not staying much time on these guys. Midfield, I've got Bernardo Silva as another start. I think Bernardo Silva is fantastic. 3rd highest games for City. He's always popping up here and there with something. These type of competitions, he seems to do very, very well in. Bernardo Silva will pop up here and there all the time. Very consistent player. 4 goals, 4 assists, which to me isn't a great season for him, actually. I think that's one of his lowest. But kind of KDB's gone as well. Who's stepping up? They bought some players. Will they throw them straight in? Maybe 1 or 2 of them. But I think given the fact that they're new, they'll be integrated slowly, but Silva won't be. He'll be straight in as always. The differential I've gone for is actually not one of their new ones. It's not right. Ain't Nori, isn't Shirky. It's Echeverry, who originally was River Plate. 5.9 million. I expect this guy to step up this season. I think without KDB, he's a great natural player to play in behind the striker. He's very, very nippy, short guy, but he is a very, very good player. One of those wonder kids, let's call him. I expect him to have a big season. He came on at in the Cup final, I think, the one they lost 1-0. But he came on, and I remember saying to my stepdaughter, who's a Man City fan, I really like this guy. I think he's going to be really good. And I'd say for the 10 minutes he was on, he was very, very lively. He had 1 or 2 shots. I think he tried an overhead kick or a bicycle kick as well. Like, he genuinely really, really good. I expect a lot from him. Next up, Juventus. So, again, a team packed with quite a few stars, but they do rotate a lot for me. So Colin Moani is their forward at the moment. He is wanting to stay at Juventus. PSG, he's got no future at PSG, he's been told, and he's very happy at Juventus. He's going to be there for the World Club Cup as part of their squad. So he's 8 million, which is quite, I guess, cheaper than a lot of the premiums. He's got 8 goals and 1 assist, but obviously he wasn't there for the entire season. That was in 13 starts. As I put, enjoying Juventus, no future at PSG. So I think he'll be the main striker and he'll do very well. Cambiasso is the defender. Everyone's got him in their team. 5.3 million, 2 goals, 3 assists. Nailed defender there. And they've got a very easy group. So apart from Man City, obviously. So I think, chance of attacking return, I guess. Clean sheet as well. Nice, easy, cheap way into defense. The differential I've gone for Kenan Yildiz. 7.3 million, 7 goals, 4 assists, left winger, very dangerous, and I think he's got a high percentage to start each game. He was rotated a lot last year. He was actually in my Super League team a few times. The thing is with Yildiz is he is down as a forward, whereas he actually plays more as a midfield left winger. That kind of tricky one that the FPL don't ever know what to do with. But when he plays, he is very, very dangerous. So I think with that group, apart from Man City, obviously, could be good. Group H, Real Madrid and Salzburg. Real Madrid stars, I wonder who. We've just got Mbappe and Bellingham, but they're riddled with them, obviously. Mbappe's your premium. He's 11 million, 31 goals and 3 assists. I put he will win top scorer. With the group they've got, if he plays every game, I can't see why he won't. He's class. Bellingham, 99.3 million, so quite an expensive midfielder in the game, but 9 goals and 8 assists. We know what he's capable of. Their differential, I've gone for Arda Güler, so 6.5 million, 3 goals and 4 assists, but I do expect him to play a lot in the group stage. I think that they will rotate. I think he'll be given a bit more of a chance. And I think he's a cheap way into the Madrid team if you want to. But I definitely expect him to come on as well and play. But with that group, I think he can pop up. Salzburg, I don't know loads about them, but the two clear players for me were Glock and Neen. So 6.1 million, 6.3 million, 10 goals, 4 assists, 13 goals, 4 assists. So consistent, definitely. Glock is a midfielder. Nini was a forward. Their differential was a guy called Terzic, who I saw 5.1 million, so a cheap way in, 5 assists. And I said you could bench him for the Real Madrid game. Oh, sorry, he's a defender, Terzic. That's what I was saying. He was a cheap way into the defense. That's what I was going with. But he has got 5 assists, so he actually can find his way forward as well. That supply role. But yeah, bench him for Real Madrid. But I think he's a nailed defender in an easy group. He plays every game. So for me, you're definitely potentially getting something from Terzic, assist-wise and maybe clean sheet-wise in the other 2 games. And that wraps up. It does. That wraps up the groups. So we're on to my team now, and it has changed. So we have now got, obviously this is done by date as well. One thing I didn't allude to last video is obviously this is a lot like the UEFA Champions League game, where you can actually change your players each sort of day, coinciding with the date, obviously. So you can change it around in match day 1 as long as the player hasn't played yet. So now I've sorted it into kind of date order, which makes sense. So Armane's in goal straight away. Then we've got Wesley of Flamenco, Kim of Bayern, defender. There is a bit of a transfer thing going on with him, potentially. So I might look at that, but I don't think I will. Francisco Mora, Porto. Then we've got Diarra Keita of Flamenco, Elise, Palmer, Brandt, Rodrigo Mora, not Francisco Mora. This is Rodrigo Mora. Same team, though, Porto, in midfield. And up front, we've got Kane. And then we've got Pedro, who's a cheap way in to Flamenco, who I think is going to do really well. Very cheap defender. Midfielder. Fucking hell. All 3 positions, I got it wrong. Very cheap forward. The subs bench is obviously we've got 3 Man City on the sub bench, all playing on the 18th, so way down there. So we've got Edison, the keeper, Guardiola, and Haaland as my other premium. The one playing on the 19th, so one of the last games of the match day 1 is Cambiasso of Juventus. So we've got a lot of chances to see what the defense do there and whether or not I need to swap him out or not. That's the great thing. You can play around with this. I like this format, the way the UEFA Champions League have done it. I've got 7 players under 10% ownership right now. I believe that is Wesley, Kim, Diarra Keita, Brandt, Mora, and Pedro. I think that's it. And maybe Edison, actually. Yeah, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Pedro, Edison, 7. Yeah, there you go. So 7 players under 10% ownership. I'm very happy with that. I think that's good. Maximum captain is in play. So before I had it on 12th man and I had it on Mbappe. Now we've changed it. We've got maximum captain in play. Why is that? Well, these are the games I've kind of got. So I've got on the 15th, Bayern versus Auckland. On the 15th, Palmeiras versus Porto. 16th, I've got Chelsea versus Los Angeles FC. 17th, I've got Flamenco versus Tunis and Fluminense versus Dortmund. On the 18th, we've got Man City versus Wydad AC. So I actually have 7 attacking players versus easy opposition. So why would I pin my hopes on one man as 12th man against Al Hilal, I believe it is? And I said, could a defender do it though? You know, we've got 5. I've also got 5 chances to see if a defender. I've got quite good attacking fullbacks apart from Kim. Could a defender keep a clean sheet, get a goal and an assist? Could that become my captain? You know, so many chances on this first game week with easy games to get a huge captain score. So why pin it on the idea of one man? There's no need yet. So that is why I've chosen maximum captain as match day 1. Given the fixtures, given the team I've put together strategically, I think that is the way to go. There we are. Look, I hope today I've given you some players. I hope if you were thinking of playing the game, you can pause this, you can write down the players, you can have a look. And from what I gave you today, I gave you keepers, defenders, midfielders, and forwards. You can make a team very easily from the players I gave you today. If you're thinking of playing, chuck a team in, see how it does, see what you think. It's worth playing. Everyone loves fantasy games. That's why we're here. So for me, that is it. I appreciate it. Thank you so much for the love and support on the channel so far. It means the world to me. I will keep up the content. Really looking forward to getting the Premier League fixtures soon. I think that's 4 days away. So I'll do something on the Premier League fixtures when that comes out. And this should be the last video without music and the intro and the outro. I spoke to the band yesterday. They should have something for me tomorrow. So thank you. Good luck. Enjoy this video. Please repost it, like, subscribe to the channel, and I'll just keep this up. Have a great day. Have a good weekend. Thank you.